Hi everyone. We are moving on to law of cosines, kind of similar in the sense, or similar to law of sines in the sense that it can be used for any triangle, not just a right triangle. But it's also different than law of sines because law of sines is a proportion, right? You solve the equation by writing a proportion. This, we see these long equations, right? And they look intimidating, but they're not. Really, you could just write one of them down because the process is the same. But let's talk about a few things. These specific formulas are for this triangle here or any triangle that's just giving you, depending on if you're looking for side length C, A, or B. But let's break down just the first one. So A squared is equal to side length B squared plus C squared minus 2 times B times C, which are just those side lengths, times the cosine of angle A. So remember, or what you need to kind of remember here, the cosine is the side that's opposite the side you're trying to find. Those go together. Like let's say we're looking for B squared, then the angle we're taking the cosine of is across from angle B. You guys see that? And then our last leg, C would be across from our cosine of the angle we're looking for. And then it doesn't matter the order of these guys as long as it's the side that's not opposite the angle you're looking for. Does that kind of make sense? You will have this formula to use on the board and on an assessment if you were to ever take one on the law of cosines. Because it looks confusing, but like once you do it a few times, like the distance formula or the Pythagorean theorem, it's pretty straightforward. Honestly, most of it's just calculator work. Let's see what it looks like. So for these first few examples, we're finding the missing side length using the law of cosines. I'll just write down one of our formulas here just so we can see what we're plugging into, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So we look here, my variable is x. So we're looking for a missing side length. So I know x is going to be the side all by itself. That's like acting as my A. And then my cosine of my angle is 65. So maybe it would be helpful if we label this. So here's A. It doesn't matter what B and C are. I'm going to make 7B and I'm going to make 12C. And this is angle A. So now, knowing this information after we label it, let's put it on our triangle here. So we're going to have x squared, that's what we're looking for, equals B, which we labeled 7 squared, plus C squared, which is 12, minus 2 times those sides, times the cosine of angle A, which is 65 degrees. This is honestly the hard part. After this, you guys, it is calculator work. We're going to do it in steps so we don't make mistakes and we're the most accurate as possible. Can't do anything with that left side. We know 7 squared is 49, 12 squared is 144. Minus, now we're going to multiply these three together, so 2 times 7 times 12 is 168. Cosine 65. And we're just going to keep simplifying until we can't. I'm going to add these together, 49 plus 144, 193. And then we're going to leave this as 168 cosine of 65, just to be accurate. Okay, really, we probably could have done from this step here to that one, we probably could have skipped writing out what the squares are. But for this first time through, I just wanted to show you what's happening. Now, we're going to type this whole thing into our calculator. Because if we approximate what this is, our answer is just going to be more and more off the more we round and more we approximate. So we want to be exact, so I'm going to type this whole thing exactly how I see it into my calculator. If you did that correctly, you should get 122. Now it's pretty simple, folks. All we do is take the square root. Square root of 122 is 11.4, or 0.4. We'll go to the one decimal place and we'll just leave it as 11. And that's it. Looks scary. Once you're done plugging in, your life becomes much, much simpler. Okay, we'll try another one. So again, here's our variables. We're going to call that A. Should I write it out one more time? here's little a, here's my angle A. Doesn't matter what B and C are, as long as one of them's each, we're good to go. Now we'll plug in. So A we labeled as x, so x squared. B was 25 squared, C is 20 squared, minus 2 times 25 times 20, cosine of our angle 108. All right, again, we're gonna take it in steps. If you are really, really, really good at typing in your calculator, you could type that all in and get lucky and get the right answer. But we're new to this, I think we should take it in steps. So 25 squared plus 20 squared, 1025, minus the cosine, oops, my fault. See, even I make mistakes. Obviously I make mistakes. 2 times 25 times 20 is 1,000. Cosine 108. Now we're going to type this into our calculator. So x squared equals 1,334.01. Now we'll take the square root of that. Square root of that, oops, I keep making all these little errors. 36.5. All right. Okay, I'm gonna hope you pause the video right now, and I want you to try, set up, and solve the next one on your own. So pause it, label your A, B, and C, see if you can plug it into your formula, and then check with me. So pause the video right now and try it out. So I already have it solved on my next screen, so I'm gonna go there now. All right, if you plugged it in correctly, you should have got an answer of 9.56, or you could say 9.6. My work there is shown if you want to see maybe what you did wrong if you did not get that. And if anything, if you did do it wrong, you probably just type something wrong into your calculator, because once it's set up, it's just pretty straightforward arithmetic. All right, switching gears. It's a little different now. We're looking for a missing angle. So if you notice, we have all three side lengths, but we're looking for our angle. So this is now like angle A. This is little a. This can be B, and this can be C. So again, hardest part, plugging in. And now this is our fourth time plugging in, so it should be okay. So instead of our x being, the side we're looking for, this is now 7 squared, because that's the side across from our missing angle. So 7 squared equals 11 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times those side lengths, cosine of x, because that's what we're looking for. So that's where our variable is. So again, we're going to kind of do this one step by step, just to make sure that we are understanding where these numbers are coming from. So 7 squared we know is 49, 11 squared is 121, 12 squared is 144, 2 times 12 times 11 is 264, cosine of x. So now this one's a bit different compared to finding a side. We can't just type this into our calculator, even if we wanted to. There's different steps we have to take. We can't simplify 49 at the moment, so we're going to leave it. But we can simplify this. What's 121 plus 144? That's 265 minus 264 cosine of x. And I'm sure you're thinking, where is she taking me? What road are we on? Just remember, you guys, it's math. What do we always do? We always solve for the variable. So let's get rid of everything else to isolate this term right here. So we have to take care of this 265. So how do you undo plus 265? Well, we subtract it over. So 49 minus 265 is negative 216 is equal to negative 264 cosine of x. Again, think about what you're trying to accomplish. You want to get x alone. And x is attached to that cosine, so we have to get rid of this negative 264. And if you remember, things that are next to each other, like that, are being multiplied. So how do you undo multiplying by negative 264? Well, we divide by negative 264. Divide by negative 264. Sorry, 1 second, guys. Thanks, Ellis.
You got the box for me. Is there something that you don't want me to see?
Oh, I'm just recording a lesson. That's okay. Sorry, folks. That was recycling. Okay, so we're dividing, but we don't want this as a decimal. Remember, we don't want to approximate. We want to keep things as exact as possible. So really, on the left side of our equation, we have 216 over 264. A negative divided by negative, we know turns positive, so this fraction's positive, equals cosine of x. Now think, this is a problem that you had last week. We're looking for an angle measure. How do you undo cosine? We take the inverse. So we want cosine inverse 216 over 264. Type that into your calculator. We should get 35.09. So 35.1 for our angle measure. A little different than finding a side, but again, the math is simple once you plug into that equation. Let's do another one. Let's label. Here's our angle A, little a, B, and C. So we're going to have 35 squared equals 24 squared plus 16 squared minus 2 times 24 times 16 cosine of x, because that's our angle we're trying to figure out. Again, just go through the motions. 35 squared is 1,225. 24 squared, 576. 16 squared is 256. 2 times 24 times 16, 768 cosine of x. Now we're simplifying, folks. 576 plus 256 is 832 minus 768 cosine of x. Again, we're trying to get our variable alone. We're isolating it, so we got to get rid of that 832. We're left with 393 on the left side, negative 768 cosine of x. We want to get rid of that cosine, right? Or not trying to get rid of it. We want to isolate this, so we got to divide by negative 768. Divide by negative 768. So now we have negative 393 over 768 equals cosine of x. How do you get rid of cosine? We take the inverse. So we want cosine inverse negative 393 over 768. Type that into your calculator, and x should be 120.77. If we both did that right, it's 120.8 degrees. Okay, just like last time, I want you to try set up the next one on your own, work through the math, and then you can check yourself when I change the screen in just a moment here. So pause the video, do it yourself, and we'll see if we end up in the same place. I'm hoping we did. I'm hoping you got 53.8. There's my work up on the board. There's a good chance I could have done it wrong, but my answer key matched the answer key I made last year, so unless I was wrong for multiple years, which again is possible, you should be okay. Okay, we'll end with a little application here. At Shady Pines Campground, campsites A and B are situated 80 meters apart. The camp office is 95 meters from campsite A and 115 meters from campsite B. When the rangers is standing at the office, what is the angle that separates between campsites A and B? So as always, let's draw a picture. You know we're working with a triangle. Doesn't really matter what it looks like. So let's just put our, this can be our campsite office. Here's campsite A. Here's campsite B. Now we can label. It says campsites A and B are situated 80 meters apart, so that would be this side length here. The camp office is 95 meters from campsite A and 115 meters from campsite B. And we are looking for the angle that the ranger can see both campsites A and B. So we're looking for this guy. So that's just like the problem we were doing on these last three problems. So if we go through and label, here's my angle. I shouldn't use A. Let's do this. Here's my angle. And this is the side that's going to be by itself. Yep. So here we go. We're going to have 80 squared equals 95 squared plus 115 squared minus 2 times 90 times 115 cosine of x. Probably going to get some pretty large numbers here, and that's okay. 80 squared is 6,400. I'm going to do this together. 95 squared plus 115 squared. 22,250 minus 2 times 9 times 115. 21,850 cosine of x. And we want to get cosine by itself, so we're going to subtract over that 22,000. So then we're left with negative 15,850 equals negative 21,850 cosine of x. Oh my goodness. Divide by that negative 2,100 or 21,000. Negative divided by negative is positive. How do we get x alone? We take the inverse. That is approximately 43.49. So 43.5 should be our angle measure. At that. This guy right there. Oh, my picture's a little accurate, maybe more obtuse than what I have, but that's okay. Thank you for watching. I know that was kind of a quick whirlwind of this math lesson, but let me know if you have any issues. Thanks for watching. Bye.